The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning into Armed Radio. I am Shannon.
What's up? I'm Bill.
And we are your hosts for Talk Live Paranormal.
Oh, it's going to be a great night. But first of all, start it off like we always do. I want to say thank you. A major thank you to all the men and women in the military that are serving, that have served in the past. All our veterans out there. Guys, thank you very much for everything that you've done. Thank you for all the ones that are serving right now. You guys make it so we can do what we do each day and stay free. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all for your service.
So, you worked this last weekend. I didn't.
Yeah, well, you didn't work?
No, I had a wedding. I had to officiate a wedding.
All right. Well, yeah. Beth and Ann and I, we worked at Ashmore, and I tried something a little different. We didn't get like a whole bunch of activity, but I tried something a little different.
Dun, dun, dun.
We had enough people to split up in 3 groups, obviously, because we had 3 staff there.
Right.
And my first group, I actually got to do the second level. So I was on near that nurse's station where it sounded like the ceiling collapsed when we was talking about last week.
Yeah.
Nothing like that happened again. And I don't know if there was just too many people or whatnot. I mean, a lot of people went to bed as soon as free roam hit too. But we started off, they had like one little room with a bunch of chairs. It's kind of open, where they do the history part of it before we get started. And that's where I started with my group. And I took 2 people, and of course I did that whole, name somebody you came with, because that's like my favorite thing to do. And then I stumped the second person. I'm like, all right, somebody else name somebody you came with, and I grabbed the person that said their name, because they don't ever see it coming. And I stuck them all, I was such a bitch. I stuck them all the way down at the other end of the building on the 2nd floor, and I put one in that room where we heard all that noise, and I closed the door. And then across the hall, yeah, I've told you, I'm such a bitch. And then I put one across the hall, about 3 doors down it was like in a bathroom part of it, I guess, right across from the nurse's station.
Okay.
And then I come all the way back down to the other end, and I take a volunteer to sit in the chair in the front of that little room where all the chairs are, and I turn the phasma on, give them the headphones, and I said, anything that comes through this that you can understand, even if you can't understand it, just yell out what you hear. You don't have to yell it, just say what you hear. So I put the headphones on them, and I turned it up as loud as it would go, obviously, because I didn't want her to hear the guests asking questions. So we backed up about 20 feet, and I went right down the line, and it was probably close to, I don't know, maybe 16 or 17 per group. So I went down the line, and my first group, like, I couldn't even believe what the hell was happening. The first person I asked a question to, within a matter of 5 to 10 seconds after each guest asked a question, there was a response.
Really?
And in response to their questions, like whoever we were talking to was an intelligent spirit, and it was just nonstop. And I mean, it went so well that I went through the group again, and it was just nonstop. Like, as soon as someone would ask a question, boom, she's blurting out something, and then it's answering her question. We didn't have one where it was like, okay, well, I don't even know what that means, but it doesn't pertain to your question. They were all in response to the guest's question. And then, and then I switched it out. I put another person there, and it pretty much did the same thing. And then with my second group, and we did like 40-minute sessions.
Okay.
So with the second group, I don't know if it was just the second group's energy, but it was just like nothing. Like, I tried to do the same thing, and they weren't hardly getting anything through the phasma. So I took them to the opposite end. Of course, with the second group, I still split 2 people off because I'm just once a bitch like that. And then we walked all the way down to where those two people were. And I've never tried this before, but I thought it was cool as shit. But I picked two people, a guy and a girl, and what I had the whole group be quiet. And I asked the guy first, I said, I want you to do me a favor. Meanwhile, there's still someone sitting all the way at the opposite end of the building with the Phasma and the headphones. There's nobody. We're at the opposite end of the building. I had the guy ask a question in his head. I said, don't ask it out loud. Just ask a question in your head. And then you hear that girl at the other end of the building yell out an answer to his question. And the whole group was like, what the hell? And I was like, I said, what did you ask? And then he said it out loud, and it responded to his question. Like, how does that even happen?
That's why I'm stealing that.
Well, it didn't, I had the girl do the same thing, and we didn't even get a clear response to her question. It was, like, completely off topic. But as soon as he had asked a question, and I asked him, I said, are either one of you sensitive? They were like, no, not that we know of, you know. And so I thought that was pretty wicked. Like, I didn't even know how to react to that, and I was just like, just keep asking questions in your head. But yeah, that was, I didn't know what to think about that. What else did we do? When it hit, her group was hardly anything. Her group, I hardly got anything with them. We had one guy that had a hard time understanding the Phasma, so he was just like blurting out everything, and half of it didn't make sense. Periscope lit up a couple times, and then we did a private session. Well, we had like 6 or 7 guests in a room with Beth and Ann and I, and we were all in the room together, and we had a guest there. He's been to a lot of our events with Beth and I, and I guess Beth was like picking up on an older woman, like leaning her head on his knee or something in this room that we were in. And come to find out, the way she was describing her ended up being his mother that had passed away.
Okay.
But she wasn't, see, once again, this is where we can jump into your whole psychic and medium thing, because I don't have those abilities, so when Beth is sitting there kind of saying this is what she sees, but this woman will not turn around and show me her face. Like, she's making it a point to look away from me. And then, of course, Michael touched my leg when I was least expecting it, and I kind of hopped out of my chair because I thought something had grabbed me. But
I can see you doing that.
I will totally do it. I will totally do it. Like, he just went and just poked the side of my leg, and I didn't know what it was. And the wolf spiders are really bad there right now. So if anybody's listening and goes to Ashmore Estates, be prepared, because them suckers are huge and they're everywhere in the building.
Really?
Just FYI. Spiders. I don't do spiders. And we had a lot of dowsing rod activity also in that same room. And it was second floor. I'm telling you, at Ashmore, I mean, I get a lot of stuff on the second floor there. I had to, like, practically beg for the second floor. I was like, where do you guys want to go? And they were like, oh, it's up to you. And I was like, really? Because I want the second floor. No, I want the second. No. You just said it was up to me. I want the second floor. So they gave it to me. But I mean, it's, and the whole group was really good. We lent out all 3 Phasma boxes, K2s, the periscopes. Anne had brought in she's got a couple extra pairs of dowsing rods. So I mean, it was freezing outside. It was about 38 degrees. Inside it wasn't too bad, but everybody seemed to have a good time with the amount of people that we had. Usually that's a bigger group than we, care to have out there. Yeah. It's not that big of a building. It's only 3 floors, and you guys can hear each other in the stairwells.
Yeah.
So that was how my Friday night went.
Mine wasn't exciting. My weekend was not exciting at all. So I was
the
at a
wedding wasn't exciting?
Well, it was a little weird and exciting. So Kelly and Michelle were up at the Farrar School this weekend. They had a few things that happened up there. Now, here's the weirdest part about the whole weekend, and this we can't figure out yet. Hanging on my mirror in our van I have a rosary. Now there's a story. There's a story behind the rosary. We were getting ready to do. We were getting ready to actually go to our very first event with Ghost Hunts USA a little over a year ago. Well, no,
Right.
a year exactly now. Oh my God, that was the end of this month. Next month will be a year.
You're going on a year, and I went on 4 years.
Well, we had a year, and right before about this time, that's freaky. I didn't even put two and two together until just now. Okay, so reverse a year ago.
Okay.
At this time, I was sitting in my office, and we were talking about going, and Michelle was talking about how, we need to protect ourselves. We've never been with a big group like this before. We want to make sure that we do it right.
Big group was an understatement. If you're talking about Missouri when we were all together for the first time.
Bingo. So we wanted to protect ourselves, but we didn't really realize how we wanted to go about doing this. Because, we've been doing it for a while, but we haven't really done big groups. Well, what do you use? What don't you use?
Right.
And somebody said, well, make sure you got your rosary with you. I thought, well, I don't own one. Never had one. Nothing. The very next day, a package shows up in my name from a church that no longer exists in New Jersey.
What?
I'm not lying. You can ask Kelly about this. It just shows up, and inside that package is a rosary, and it's a very old one, and it was sent to me. No name, no nothing on it. Just my name on the outside of the package, and to my office. It was actually to my office and my room. Our offices. We have like a big office, and it's got little offices off that big room.
Right.
It was 2 East 31B. That's my old office, and my name. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I open it up, and there's a rosary inside of it. I'm thinking, this is weird. This is really weird that this just showed up.
Know anybody in New Jersey that might have just used the church's old address?
No.
Okay.
And I hadn't met either of those guys yet, because I didn't know if it was New York or New Jersey or wherever they were from up there. Hadn't met any of those guys yet. I hadn't. So this thing just shows up out of the blue. Fast forward a year, last weekend, and I didn't notice this until yesterday or day before. What is today? Today's Wednesday. Day before. We're driving home. Now that rosary's been hanging on my mirror on that van since we got it in January. It's not really a long one. It's a shorter one. It's small, and I wanted to make sure it was with us whenever we traveled.
Okay.
It's gone. It's not on there anymore. We can't find it anywhere. I had the van at the wedding.
That just made the hair stand up on my arm.
The only person that has had anything to do with that wrote that with our van this weekend was me. I rode alone. Nobody was with me. It's not there. It's gone. I mean, it's not on the mirror anymore. And I didn't realize that it's been 1 year.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, that makes it even worse now that I know there's a backstory on it, and that I remembered it.
And it didn't fall on the floorboard or on the dash.
We tore the van apart.
You didn't stick it in a bag or anything.
No, and the way I had it wound up there, I actually took it and looped it through itself, like you wrap a piece of string around, and then I wrapped it around twice because it was too long. So it's just gone. No rhyme, no reason, just gone. Figure that one out.
That's puzzling. I don't know, because as soon as you said that, it was gone, and my hair stood up on my arms.
So that's been my weekend and my week.
You'll see it next year about this time.
That'll freak me the hell out.
You're gonna be like, I quit. I fucking quit. I don't want nothing to do with this shit anymore.
Kiss my ass. I'm out of here.
Holy crap.
Hey, real quick, because this one has been bugging me ever since I watched it earlier on today. Anybody who's listening out there, this is the most serious part of the whole night I'm going to get. A few days ago, there was a man and a woman that were shot dead up in Wisconsin. Their 13-year-old daughter is missing. If you know anything about it, please give any information you get to the tip line. She's not a real big girl. If anybody knows anything about this, her name, where did her name go? Jamie Kloss, Closs. please, if you know anything about her, where she might be, please get a hold of anybody, FBI, local sheriffs. They'll get the information up there. So,
and you did message Juanita, and she got back with you already, right? Okay, cool.
Yep. She's already all over it. So
she's very good at what she does.
Oh God, yeah. So I had been asked a question when we were sitting down talking and with a bunch of people a week ago, actually right after our show. I got 5 questions asked to me, and I'm gonna ask you these questions, and I want to see what your answers are.
You're not supposed to put me on the spot. You're supposed to let me prepare for this shit.
No, were you listening to our last guest? We did this to him too.
That's him, though. That's our special guest. We're allowed to do that special guest.
We've actually asked these, but I really kind of, and I want to take this from a technical standpoint, not a psychic standpoint or a medium standpoint. I want to do this from what our answers are from a technical standpoint.
Okay.
So the first one is, how can you tell the difference between an angel orb or a reflection from light? Off like a bug or a dust or pollen. How can you tell the difference? And I know this is, I know I'm going to give you a minute to think about it, but I know that, orbs lately have become this huge phenomenon across the United States, and everybody's catching orbs in their pictures. And I don't think all of them are, they need to be, this needs to be looked at. 99, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think 99% of what people think are orbs are not. They're dust. They're a bug. It's moisture in the air.
It depends. To me, it depends on where you are. If you go to a cemetery where it's not windy whatsoever, and you take a lot of photos and you don't hardly get anything in your photos, and all of a sudden you have this bright round ball of light, or 2 of them in one picture. It's I don't want to rule out bugs, because obviously you're outdoors. Mm-hmm. But it would definitely, I think, rule out dust.
Well, okay, you said it right though. It's a lot of them that people are taking the pictures of, and they look at them. You'll see a ring around the outside, and then they're clear in the middle.
Right.
To me, that's not an orb. That is dust. That is moisture in the air. It's something, because it actually has an edge that can refract the light.
Right.
An orb is something that's almost solid in nature, but it's like light solid. It's got a light throughout the whole thing.
What about the ones that look like you can see
a face in them?
A face, yeah.
Yeah, those, I'm gonna say, I don't know. But that was one of the big questions. Most of these were questions at the wedding last weekend when everybody found out what I do.
Good times.
Drunk people at a wedding talking about ghosts. Yeah, it was awesome.
The only picture I can honestly say that I believe is an orb is the picture that the one guest got from Missouri. The one right above her head. Yeah, because it was like a bluish reddish, and it was huge. Yeah. To me, that was an orb. Now you get RCI was really bad. Like walking around the basement, especially in the attic. Even on the DVR system that we had, it literally looked like it was snowing up in the attic just from all the guests walking around in the attic. It was that dusty. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sure they snapped tons of pictures, and they were like, man, check these pictures out. And I'm just like, I don't understand. And you try to tell them, but they're going to believe what they want to believe.
Which brings us to our next question. And I want to know what you believe about this one. Because this one made me laugh.
Okay.
Is a smell of is a sulfur smell a sign of a residual haunting?
Really?
And I said no, it's a sign that the best man's had too many beans.
Somebody's been watching Supernatural too much.
Bingo.
I don't think that is any way related to actual demonic presence or anything.
Okay, now this one, the ring bearer's brother wanted to know.
Okay.
can dogs be affected by ghosts? And I said, yes, they can. Dogs are more sensitive to, like sounds, vibrations, and different energies.
Any animals are, just like children.
Yeah. And it makes perfect sense that a dog or a cat may be seeing, hearing, or maybe even feeling a strange energy in the room. If you have a cat or a dog, it kind of seems to run around and go from place to place and all of a sudden stops and like hisses
stares at the ceiling,
barks, stares at the ceiling, then there's something might be intelligent around you. But made me wonder, can dogs or animals, it seems like everybody always talks about that they see intelligent haunting. Can they see residual haunting? Or is it only intelligent? Because sometimes it seems like, we used to have a dog that would just stare at a corner, and then how somebody's scaring a dog and they start to move, the dog backs up, then goes forward, and backs up and goes forward, and goes side to side and barking and growling, and the hair stands up.
Right.
Our dog used to do that, but he'd go all the way down and into a room, and then he'd go all the way into our kitchen to the front door, and then he'd stop and look at the door and then walk back in like nothing's wrong, like he chased it out.
Right.
But it was never just in that one area. It was every now and then he'd be just laying up by the side of our bed and just go nuts. So is it a residual, or can they see residual, or can they only see intelligent hauntings?
To be honest with you, unless we have an animal that can talk, I don't think we'll ever know the answer to that question.
Good point.
I mean, I know that animals are on a different frequency, as far as hearing and probably, so I would not rule it out, but I'm not going to say yes or no.
True. I don't know how to deal with, how to think about the intelligent versus residual. Because I think even if it's a residual haunting, they should be able to see something, but like most things, an animal after a certain time will get used to seeing something and just ignore it.
Right. And realize whether it's a threat or not.
Yeah. So if a residual haunting is just something that just keeps playing over and over at a certain time during a certain day of each week, they're going to look up and go, oh crap, it's back again. All right, I'm going back to bed.
Right.
Or they're just going to ignore it. But if there's an intelligent haunting and they come through and it's almost like it's poking the dog or trying to figure out what is this, or, can I pet the puppy? Right. And the dog sees, no, this isn't right. This isn't supposed to be here. It's going to go in that defensive mode. It's going to go into that freak out mode and try to figure out what's going on.
Right. And that's where the whole growling would come in.
Yep.
All right.
I had a friend of mine ask me, I think my house is haunted. What do? I told her to sell it for $1.
Sell it for $1. Hey, well, the reformatory was sold back in the day for $1. 4 different guys paid 25 cents.
I fall into that some kind of deal like that.
I don't know. But it's true.
So what I told them to do, if you think your house is haunted, close your eyes, blindfold yourself, and just listen.
Yeah, with the blindfold again.
Well, you're doing it differently. You're taking their hearing away. Their physical hearing around them. I'm just taking their eyes away from them.
Okay.
So I told them to just sit and listen. And turn your phone on and let it record. Don't say a word. Just listen.
What are they saying is happening?
They can hear people walking around. They can hear like creaks and pops. And I told them, take out the creaks and the pops.
Okay.
Especially if you live like we do in an old house, the wind changes outside. This house moves. Yep, everything's going to change a little bit. Things are going to, expand and contract. They're going to move. But if you're hearing somebody, it sounds like walk across your wooden floors upstairs, and nobody's there, send the dog up. I don't know. Run up there real fast.
If the dog doesn't make it up the stairs, then your house is haunted.
Bingo. So they're gonna try a couple little things. I gave them a couple little techniques. I told them, they said, well, how can we tell if they're in the room with us? And I told them, I said, there's something that I'm gonna try this weekend.
Okay.
That I've never tried. Somebody said it's the an EMF detector for under $10. And I went, okay, I'll give it a shot. It's at Walmart in the camping area. It's a little plastic 2-piece compass. The flat tray that you lay the compass on, and then there's a little plastic compass.
Okay.
Now, you don't really need the flat tray unless you are going to lay it on the dirt or something. But you take a flashlight and flash it at the, shine it on the compass, and it lights up north, south, east, and west, and then it lights up the arrow on the end of the compass itself. Now, you obviously have to lay this on a flat surface because otherwise it's got to be on that point for that to work.
Okay.
Now, to test this theory, if you take a radio or even a cell phone, I guess, can set it off, and you turn your cell phone on and start moving close towards it, if you say you have the compass pointing at north, you kind of want to know where your reference point is, so it's always going to be pointing north. Whichever way, if it's pointing north and you come in from the left side, which would be the right side, which would be the east, the end of the compass pointing towards north will start moving towards the west. It'll point away. It points in the direction that the electromagnetic field is coming into it because you're messing with the magnets.
Okay.
So supposedly, and I read a little article where a guy over in England used to do this all the time. That's all he ever used. And he could you could see the direction in which the entity was heading. And he said that 99% of the activity they could get it on old school stuff like that, but not on the newer stuff because people recognize a compass, no matter whether it's 100 years ago, 200 years ago, people recognize that. They know what that is. So if entities are around that are really trying to interact with us, they may be a little disturbed about all these lights and flashy, shiny new objects that we bring out. But if you lay that old school compass down there, they have this tendency to, oh, hey, I know what this is, and they move towards it. And since the ends glow on it, because they have a luminescent paint on there, you can actually see it. You can see it move in the dark. I'm trying that this weekend. They're $3.14 at Walmart. I'm picking up 5 of them.
A compass.
Just a little old cheap compass, little plastic compass.
Well, I have a couple different compasses. I could try that out.
And I have my military ones, but I don't know if I want to break them out because I don't want anybody to steal them or stand. Somebody steals a $3 compass from me, I'm not too worried about it. So.
Well, it's like the IR lights. So many places have these IR lights, like, expensively priced. And I mean, I know a couple people that make them, and I mean, you can, the IR light that I got that mounts to my little remote controlled Jeep, was like $60.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine can make the same one for $15. Of course, I didn't meet him until after the fact. But
that's something I need to learn how to make. I need to make one that lasts a lot. Yeah.
Well, the one that I've had the longest, that has lasted the longest, that I love using, is the 360 puck I got from Ghost Stop. And another thing, if you go to
Go ahead.
I plug it into a power bar, that'll last. Usually, it'll last up to about 8 hours. It'll power it's got 3 USB ports in it, and it will power. At one point in time, I had 3 cameras, and then I had to put the tripod close enough to the wall because there was power to plug the IR light in, the 360 puck. But it'll. What's up?
No, go ahead.
Oh, it'll power 2 cameras and the IR light for almost 8 hours on the power bar.
See, mine keep running out of power, and then I hook them up to a power bar or a power box, and then I'm good to go for a while. My whole problem is I don't want to have to carry around extra power when I'm moving around. I actually found one a guy made, and you can sit it, like, say he showed it in an old auditorium gym that was completely pitch black, and he turned it on, and obviously you still can't see anything, but the minute he went to IR on his camera,
it lit up the whole room.
The whole room's lit up, and it looks like a small one of them portable, what do you call them? Work lights that you kind of sit on the floor. It's a rectangle. It's about 6 inches tall and 8 inches long.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It looks like one of them halogen lights, but he had converted it over to all infrared LEDs, and that thing lit up everything. And that's what I would like to have, something like that. But
Yeah, but here's the thing, that IR light that I paid $60 for, that
Yeah.
I had to modify the front bumper of this remote control Jeep for it to fit right. It ran off of, I think it was 2 9-volt batteries. And I actually went into the hunting section at Walmart and bought, I think they were like $10 a piece, just UV flashlights, and zip tied them to the top of the cage of the Jeep. And it worked just as good as the IR light, if not better.
Oh, I never thought about using a UV. I know you can get IR flashlights now too.
Yeah. So I mean, the UV light worked good.
Looks like a road trip to Walmart.
Right. Right.
So this kind of leads into my last question. And this is what I kind of had I had a lot of questions on myself, so I've been over the last few days kind of looking at this. I had a lady asking you what are psychic mediums, and then she goes, "Now, is there a difference between a psychic and is there a difference between a medium?"
Okay.
And so again, I had to look, and I guess the easiest way to say this is that not all psychics claim to be mediums, and not all mediums claim to be psychics. But there are people that consider themselves psychic mediums where things overlap. So now the hard is the explanation of that whole gray area. When people first start out understanding that they have an ability, and they start practicing, trying to read people and working with people, some of them become almost clairvoyant. Kind of a seeing ability to perceive in information or get information from a person's aura. And like the aura is the energy field that's around everyone. We all have it. Some people's is black and hard as coal. Some people's is bright and full of energy.
Mine's green.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what you've been told?
Yes. I was actually taught how to read my own aura.
Well, you should teach me, because I have no idea. I don't even know how to look for it yet. The aura contains information about your emotional, energetic, and your physical self-knowing of yourself. Just like memories are stored in your brain, with emotions and events and circumstances, they're all stored in your energy with your aura. So some people learn how to read those. When you can see the color, people can see the color of an aura, so they start to identify different emotions with the colors that they see of the person. But then, of course, they start wondering, is that all that I have? So they practice over time. And with a psychic, the ability to read people's emotions and their behaviors and their kind of work off their life patterns, when they practice their abilities, they start their skill levels start to increase. They start to see different things and hear different, they were able to read people's better, and they can almost perceive what your spirit is, and they get that information. Excuse me. On the other hand, then you got a medium. There's someone who actually receives information from, for lack of better terms, and I'm using my air quotes again, I know you can't see, from a divine source, from another person. Someone who is a medium has practiced connecting and linking kind of their energy with that divine person. And we've had a lot of people ask, what, like Tyler, I'm trying to figure out, is Tyler a psychic medium or a medium? I think he's in between, from watching him work and watching what he sees and what he hears. Yeah. But for anybody who's listening, the easiest way, if you're ever around a medium is a person. The easiest way to explain it is like flipping through a magazine. Picture after picture after picture after picture after picture, and then one of those pictures really stands out, and they kind of lock on to it, And if you're ever in one of our groups and you're ever listening to one of us that's there, you're listening to what we're talking about, or you're listening to Tyler, and all of a sudden he says something like, who has a dog with a left ear is missing?
Right.
Which is it's pretty specific, but that's going to be that whole, you need to speak up, especially in those groups. Don't be afraid to be a little embarrassed. But, having that ability for him to key in on that, so then he can key in, focus even more on that picture, and then leave that picture. He almost pulls it out, and then more pictures come by, and then something else attaches to that picture. So he starts to build, and he sees part of that person's life, or he may be even interacting with another person in the room. So he may bounce back and forth between all the different ones.
Right.
So if you're ever with us and something comes up, speak up. That's all I got to say on that.
Yep. But because it's for a limited time.
For a limited time, for 1995-02, you too can be brought in. No, just kidding. But then, like with Tyler, and I've even noticed it with Andrew and what's her name? Oh God, she's gonna kill me. I'll think of her name here in a minute. And even Beth. And that wasn't the name I was thinking of. Beth, me. When stuff hits them, and hits them fast, and hits them hard, to watch them work, I'm seeing more of the side of the medium where something's trying to give them information.
Right.
Something on the other side, or something that's there, is trying to feed. It's trying to give them something, like almost like the medium is using kind of a clairvoyant ability to perceive information from what I guess we could call a client, which is like a human spirit.
Right.
And they're transferring this tool of hearing this and receiving information from these spirits to words for us. They're the go-between. Okay. So the medium is going to be a person that sees more and hears more.
It's more of a visualization, and a psychic gets more of a sensory thing, like feels.
Yes, and if I'm wrong, somebody please write in and tell me. But
Juanita,
that's how
you listening?
Juanita, I hope you listening. Don't send no bad juju my way if I'm wrong. That's all I got to say about that. But the psychic, they get the feelings, and they're like, hey, this isn't right. Something wrong happened over here. They're reading the auras. But then you've got the psychic mediums who are stuck in the middle.
Right.
Now, I know like a psychic has to train their ability. Tyler's explained a million times that being a medium, it's always been there. He just had to learn to shut up and listen to it.
Right.
And once he did that, it was just there. His hardest thing is being able to get off and walk away.
Being able to turn one or the other off?
Yeah, well, to just be able to turn, the whole all the pictures coming at him that fast and that hard, to block it out, to close that book and take a deep breath. Psychic mediums, on the other hand, are a combination of both. They're feeling the aura. They're feeling the room. This room doesn't feel right. I'm taught, over here, it seems like something bad happened over here. By the way, ma'am, you're pregnant. But over here, which has happened. And when I think of Michelle and Brittany, and the way that I watch them work, and Michelle and Brittany we work with, which are awesome. And I watch them two work, and I watch them work separately and together. It's amazing to see Brittany. Brittany last weekend was texting Michelle from Indiana, telling her, get out of the room you're in. She told her, the very first text was, hey, you guys are upstairs in the auditorium. You need to get away from the stage. There's somebody up there that's not real happy. Michelle and those guys were sitting upstairs in the auditorium staring at the stage.
Oh, wow. See, now Beth has done that with me before when she went on the road trip with Charlotte, and I was at RCI, where we actually did, we put on, the doctor's coat, and we had one of us, and I was in scrubs, and then we had Stan in a patient gown, and we were pushing him around in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And Beth was saying, when we do an EVP session, she was, telling us in the live feed what we were getting ready to hear back on the Pandora, and she was right every time.
See... So to me, is that a psychic, or is that a medium who has the ability to reach that far across, or is that a combination? That's the biggest question.
Right.
So, if I've confused anyone, then I'm doing my job. But I'm hopefully making people, think about this a little bit more. Which kind of goes into what you had brought up that I really want us to discuss. And you get a lot of people that come to these events and they have preconceived notions that what they're not going to have and what's going to happen to them. And you had asked that question to me earlier. Does that affect them? So now I'm asking
you never. I mean, you never know. I mean, are they more likely to think they've been touched or pushed because they've previously read about the location or somebody else's past experience of being shoved down a flight of stairs? If they go into that location thinking that could happen to them, and you know what I'm saying? If it's just all in their head that if something does happen, it wasn't just in their head, or did something really happen?
So, again, if you come on these, try not to come in with any notion. I mean, everybody's going to have that protection. I got to protect myself just a little bit more.
Right.
But I always tell everybody, what did you hear about this place? What did you guys hear? And when they say, we just know that it's here, or somebody, I've read all about it and this and that. Well, that person's read all about it is probably the ones that I'm going to look at and go, maybe you shouldn't be coming in here. Or, okay, I'm going to give you all my attention, but right now I'm going to kind of give a little bit more attention to somebody else. Because your brain is already locked on something that...
the history of the place.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've had, and we've had guests too, but a part to this question was... have you ever followed up with a past guest that during one of your events became nauseous or got sick at one of the events? Have you ever followed up with a past guest that's ever had that happen?
Yes, all the time. We do it. I try to do it as often as I possibly can to talk with people and let people know what, see how they are, see what's going to, did they make it home okay? And I always try to tell people, let us know that you're okay. Because you weren't doing okay. The gentleman that we had up in the Nopum Sanatorium, he wasn't okay. He wasn't okay for 3 days afterwards. It was still messing with him hard. Now, I did find out, and I don't want to give a lot of information away because it's kind of private about what he did see and what he did get to go. He went through and in his past life history, because there were some pretty nasty things that I think accumulated over what I can't even speak. Hi, my name is Bill. There was some things that culminated, I think is how you say it, from the last year that he's been through, that by going in there and spending time there and dealing with it, it made him deal with some things that he hadn't had to deal with yet. Right,
that he's put on the back burner for so long.
And it just overwhelmed him. We did get to talk to him, I think it was it Thursday or Friday of last week, after our show last week, and I got to actually talk with him real quick, and he said no, he was not okay for about 3 days. It messed with him. He gave him nightmares and stuff, but again, it forced him to deal with what he what he had to go through. And I asked him how he's doing. He said, he went and spent a little bit of time at church, very church spiritual going guy. Excuse me. And he went there and talked to a few people and sat down and relaxed a little bit, and now he's doing much better. So
that's good that he went through all that then.
Yeah, and we've had some people call us and go, I think something followed me home.
I mean, we've had that too, where we get a lot of guests that they go to our events, and then on their drive home or the next day they're adding you on Facebook, and then 2 days later they're telling stuff's going on or whatever. Or they've had more stuff going on since they went to a haunted location, even for the first time, where stuff doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel right, I guess. I've had a couple guests do that.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw, I throw it out there to people. If you get home and you still don't feel right, take 2 steps back and try to find a way to relax. A lot of it is still a lot of energy buildup that you're still trying to release out of your body. That this happened to me. We get people that almost peed their pants, and if you do get somebody that pees their pants at a ghost hunt, well, it's a success.
Well, I almost do that sometimes, so I mean, He got really quiet.
God.
He totally got really quiet.
We had some people from friends of ours that are actually going to be with us on November 30th at the Edinburgh Manor, and it was actually my bride from the last weekend. A friend of mine who got married. They're so worked up over this whole thing that they were watching different shows.
Oh, geez.
And her husband now was sitting right next to her and sneezed so bad that he scared her that she peed her pants.
Oh my God! Hey, she's preconceiving. Tell her to quit.
I asked her, "Did you have to pee?" She goes, "Not anymore."
Well, you know how you're in the middle of an event. Well, I don't even at Missouri State when we had those 200-something people, and you have to go to the bathroom so bad, but you have a job to do, and you might not make it to the bathroom. I'm not saying I have done this. Okay, I have not ever pissed myself on an investigation, but I'm telling you what, I've come close quite a few times, because if you're doing a session with Tyler spooks before just about anybody. And if Tyler will get close to you in the dark, and he won't even realize it, that he keeps getting closer to somebody, and then he'll go to turn around and he'll about pee himself, but then he scares the shit out of you too.
And you almost pee yourself.
Exactly. So I mean, I've been pretty close a couple times, where I've had to hold it because we've got so many people and questions being asked and stuff that has to be done in between doing rotations that it gets hectic. So I mean, yeah, and I'll say right at the beginning of a session, man, I should have went to the bathroom before I started the session, because you never know what's going to happen, whether it's a guest or a spirit grabs your arm. Regardless, if you got to pee as bad as I have sometimes, it's going to happen. I have a feeling it's going to.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to start wearing diapers. I'm going to start wearing. I'm totally going to start wearing diapers to investigate.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying. I'm going to do it just for the hell of it now.
Wear a diaper?
When I see you guys next, I'm going to have a big diaper on. Be like, I'm ready to go.
We got to get a bunch of them and just, hey, here we go.
We are not quitting till we catch something.
But how are you gonna? Don't worry, I'm covered.
I'm good. I hope those people, now if they're listening, don't go out and buy diapers and investigate. It's really not that bad. I'm just exaggerating a little bit.
No, we want everyone to go out and buy diapers.
At the next event that I do, I want to see everybody wearing Depends. We had a girl bring her father. It was like his 50th birthday party or whatever. They had a group of 8 to 10 people, and they came to Randolph County Asylum. And she surprised them. She's in college, and she surprised him and met him there. He didn't even know she was going to be there. But she got him diapers for his birthday for him to wear during the investigation.
That is awesome.
So I wouldn't rule it out. I bet some people do it.
Don't look at me.
I have never done it.
I'd fill them.
I'm just saying, sometimes we have to hold it, and it's just right there. If something really bad happened or jumped out or something was thrown across the room, I'd probably piss and shit myself. I really don't care.
I smell brimstone. No, you don't. Leave me alone. Brimstone smells kind of shitty.
Oh my God.
So I posted on Talk Live Paranormal page. I just typed, check this out. We did a video up at Nopama Sanatorium, and YouTube finally allowed me to post it on there because YouTube's been wacky for the last couple of weeks. So we did an IR. We walked through a bunch of locations. So if anybody wants to check it out, maybe go up there and be with us next month, which is kind of scary. I don't know if we're coming back. I don't know if I'll be there. I'm hoping to be there.
Right.
Nopama Sanatorium. I don't want to go back for some reason. I want to go back.
Now, you guys are you anywhere this weekend?
Was
it supposed to be the Beatty house? Was that this weekend?
The Beatty house was supposed to be Friday, Saturday, and Michelle's going down alone.
To the Beatty house?
Yeah. It's
better than going to the Sally house by herself.
Yeah. I don't know. She's never been to the Beatty house.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't think any of our staff should go to any location by themselves, just because you don't know how the guests are.
True. So, I think Brittany, her daughter, is going to try to just go with her to have a second person there. And we sent a message off to we may go down for the Saturday night one and just kind of maybe do a little videotaping, do a little live streaming, see what we get, kind of show some things. So
right on. I am not working this weekend.
No, you got something big going this week.
Yeah, I'll be busy.
Yep. So, let's see what else is going on. Did you have any questions? Because we only got like 8 minutes left.
Did you ask all 5 questions?
Yeah, we went through all my questions.
Dang. Well, we got... Let's see, Ashmore is this Friday too. Beth will be there.
Go see Beth. Go scare her. See, oh my God, you know what I wanted to do so bad last weekend? Michelle and Kelly were down at the Farrar School. Yeah. I so wanted to go get my big green coveralls out of the barn and go find a Jason mask and go stand outside one of the windows. On that note, we have exactly 2? We have exactly 2 weeks from tonight is Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, the favorite time of the year. Let's go play.
I live in a really small apartment complex, and I'm pretty sure they're not doing a whole lot.
If you're going to scare any kids and get their candy, it's not nice, so you should send the candy to Bill and Shannon in care of at TeamSpeak.
Send it to me, and then I will split it up and send some to Bill. I'll send a little bit.
She'll send me the candy corns, the worst ones of them all.
I'll send him the wrappers. You know, we have a guy here in Franklin where they do like the whole Franklin little neighborhood thing. We have a guy that dresses up as Santa Claus every Halloween and gives out candy canes.
That's awesome. I should do that.
He does it every year.
I should do that. Ho, ho, ho. Are you being good? I'm watching you. Only 2 months left. Look, it's Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus is walking around sweating his butt off. It's hotter than balls down here.
Well, not here, it's not. You know, how cold is it there?
I think it's supposed to be 31 tonight.
Okay, it was 38 at Ashmore last Friday.
Woofta.
Yeah. But Ashmore is like in between 2 or 3 fields. It's like Randolph County Asylum, same thing.
It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, so that freaking cool air that's blowing through there like crazy, it just makes it so much cooler. Like I was saying...
Now, what would you have done if I would have showed up at Ashmore standing outside that door in that mask and that coveralls, just turning my head sideways?
You would have got fucking shot, Bill. You would have got shot. That's all there is to it.
That would have been funny as hell. Someone take a picture and go, what the hell? Ah!
You can't do that at places like that out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, no, I'm not supposed to do that out places out in the middle of nowhere.
Actually, you probably wouldn't have got shot. I probably would have been like one of those people that get scared in a video and just start hitting you with a frying pan or some shit. That would have been me. Or like the video I sent you, or I don't even think I sent you one. It was the Hispanic Halloween. Have you seen that video?
God, no.
Oh my God. Like Michael Myers is coming into the house and it's got this little Mexican kid doing the dishes and his mom's on the couch.
And he made a mess on the floor?
Yeah, when Michael Myers walks in, he gets mud all over the tile in the kitchen. So he was like, what are you doing? And next thing you know, it shows the mom and then she's fucking gone and then she's up in Michael Myers' face with a flip-flop and a face mask.
And then they're both cleaning the house. And
he's mopping the floor and crying.
And Jason walks in, and they're like, no, go away.
They look at the couch, the mom's gone, and next thing you know, they turn around, and she's like right in Jason's face, and he tries to take off running. You guys gotta look that up on Facebook, because it's funny.
That is, there's, oh my God. And check out the new Monster Mash, too, because that's funny as hell, too.
Yeah, Daniel sent me that one earlier.
Oh, I love Halloween.
I like Halloween too.
Time of year when I get to be myself, take my mask off, relax.
What are you talking about? We get to be ourselves in locations every weekend when we get to work.
You've never been around me during Halloween.
No. You already talked about driving to a location wearing a Jason mask and scaring the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know. But
right.
you never know.
I don't work again, so you're not gonna catch me in Halloween somewhere.
The real Bill might come out.
Bill that changed at the Sally house.
That ain't funny.
Just saying. Was it before or after you got hit in the head?
That what?
Was that at the Sally house or was that the Villa?
The Sally house I got hit in the head.
Okay.
But what do you mean the change? Our guest changed there. They got weird at the Sally house. Had one that just totally. She went from all giggly, bubbly, happily, boopity boopity to you can't play frickin' religious music, you assholes. I'm going outside. I hate this damn place. You know, that's how fast she turned. Even her friends like, what the perfect nougan's going on around here?
What the perfect nougan? Oh. You know I'm totally going to send you some candy wrappers now, right? Just wrappers.
It's not nice. Because I'm
Either is she talking about wearing a Jason mask showing up at the door of a location I'd be at.
I'm going to send you some candy wrappers, but I'm going to put a spider inside the box too.
I will fucking kill you. I swear to God, if I get a package from you, I'm not even opening it. I'm just going to burn it. I'm just going to burn it. Better not have a fucking spider in there.
Oh my God. I see we're running out of time here though. We should be getting pinged here soon.
We should have got pinged already. Because I think... I don't know. Jimmy, you sleeping? Jimmy,
I know we're running out of time, so I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. You've had a great time. Shannon, I love you as always.
Yes, awesome as always,
Bill. The best hostess in the world. So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back again next week, and you never know what we're going to come up with for a topic. If you have a topic you wanted us to discuss, let us know. And other than that, we'll see you in the dark.
Yeah.
Why can't pot be legal in Iowa?
Oh, here. I got more than one person listening. Hank.